All right, first off, let's explain what we're doing here. We're going on a tour through a good part of the tri-state area, trying to inspire certain very specific ideas, having a very specific goal. Our series is called Discover Your Inner Power. This is something that I find that is my pet passion. This is something that I've been going around with in Israel for a long time, and we decided to bring it over here. We revised it a little bit. Many hours and many people have been put into this in order to bring it to you. So we would like to thank Mrs. Rubaveli for setting up all the events, tirelessly working so much and so hard to set up all the events. I'd like to obviously thank the Chazaq organization. If you ever want to feel like you're not doing anything with your life, here's a tip. I don't know why you would want that. I have no idea. But just in case you had at some point decided that you want to feel like you are doing nothing with your life, go to the Chazaq offices. I had one of the most depressing days ever today, and I don't get depressed easily. I went to the Chazaq offices, and they took me around this CIA-worthy operation that they have going on over there. These guys know everything. They know traffic light patterns in Queens. They know everything that is going to help them in the slightest to bring people closer to Hashem. They can make a fortune just with the information they have. Yet every ounce of it is put into helping people and bringing kids closer to Hashem. And as I'm standing over there, and they had one of these whiteboards with their numbers on it that I've seen before. I've seen these types of numbers on whiteboards before in sales offices. You ever been in one of these sales offices where they're all rah-rahing each other on? They're all yelling, yeah, come on, one more sale, 3 more sales, no one's having lunch till we have another sale. And they're just talking about another few dollars, making another few dollars for themselves. You have everyone sitting there in the Chazaq office like somebody is paying them $1 million to do this. They're rahing each other on, and they didn't know I was coming. It's a random Tuesday in the summer. Their air conditioning was broken. It was hot. You would not be able to tell on anyone over there that there was the slightest discomfort. They're rahing each other on, and they have this whiteboard with numbers on it, with where their numbers of sales are holding right then. But instead of selling money or product, these people are buying neshamot by the boatload. These numbers were mind-blowing, and as I'm standing in front of this whiteboard, the rabbi says to me, the rabbi that I was meeting for the first time says to me, so what do you do? And I said, nothing. I do nothing. I'm embarrassed of anything I've ever done, and I'm going to leave now because I really feel small. I've never felt so insignificant before. It was unbelievable. You guys are surrounded in a community that is incredible. Really, I was blown away by the Messiah. I don't know, I still, to the point, and I've met great people, I'm still chashud of the whole thing. I feel like somebody's pulling a con here somewhere, I just don't know how. I feel like someone in there has to be making millions of dollars, or it makes no sense. None of this makes any sense. People like this haven't been around for hundreds of years in Klal Yisrael. It's incredible. It's truly incredible. And then when you combine when you combine things like the Chazaq organization with the Emet organization, the Yetzer Hara starts to palpitate. He starts to cry. These are the times that the Yetzer Hara showed. There was twice. The Yetzer Hara came to Hashem all the way in the beginning of creation, and he asked him, how can you give the Jews Shabbat? You can't give the Jews Shabbat. It's not fair. It's too holy. It's too awesome. It's going to inspire too many people. You can't give them Shabbat. What am I going to use? So Hashem said, don't worry about it. You'll have yours. The second time in history that happened was when Chazaq decided they're getting together with Emet. The Yetzer Hara came up and was like, I can't. They're like, no, but they're only centralized. He's like, no, they're not. No, they had Arizona written on their board. I didn't even know that there were Jews out there. I have no idea how they're. These numbers are unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Emet organization reaching out to the people that no one wants to go near. College campus kids. It is the hardest. See, with the younger kids, you bring them in, you give them a candy, you give them a good time, everyone wants to come back. The college guys come in, and they all think that they're being brainwashed. True or not? They all think, oh, Rabbi's going to brainwash me or something. Rabbi, I just want to be clear here. I'm here for the steak. Someone promised me steak, I'm here for the steak. Someone promised me vodka, I'm going home. Right? And then Emet comes and says, buddy, we're giving you Emet. True Emet. What are you going to do? And you see the fruits of our labor. It's incredible. What is going on over here is incredible. It's such an honor to be even a small part of it. I literally was crying in the Chazaq office today, just reading the things that was on the walls over there, just things that kids have said. There was a girl, I wasn't going to, but I can't not. There was a girl who, I'll get there. No, that's not it. There it is. There's a girl here, I'm not going to say her name, but this is her line. I don't even think I could say it. Okay, a positive impact on my life. I grew so much as a person, and the Chazaq teachers became my extended family. I was taught, you have no idea in my line of work what this means. For a kid to say this is groundbreaking. I was taught the true value of a Jewish woman. That is so big. That is so tremendous. There's no words for that. 90-something% of the reason why so many of our kids are off the derech and overdosing and all these things happening is because they were never given, they don't understand the true value of being a Jew. They don't understand that. Really, this is for the Thursday night portion of this shir, I think. Tomorrow night, I don't know. One of the portions of this shir, this is for then. But the concept that we have, life would be so much easier as a non-Jew. Life would be so much easier as a non-Jew. And we're so wrong. And we give this idea over to our children, and it's so bad. So we've been going around. We've been in Queens for about a week now, trying to find parking, and this is the first speech I'm making. It was supposed to be. I missed the other three because hydrant. It's the biggest tease on earth. You pull up, and it's a tremendous level in Amunah when you pull up, and you're like, oh, it's a hydrant. Oh, I think it's a hydrant. Do you really think that was a spot? Like, after a while, do you think you were the guy that found the spot, or that 800 people drove by there before you and also saw the hydrant? Just keep driving. You know what's about to happen. 40 cars, one brake, 40 cars. It's a hydrant, genius. But this guy, no, I pulled into every single one of them. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's a hydrant, so oh wait, there's another 800 cars behind me, so I'm going to wait here for the next 45 minutes. It's been a long day. The point is that the parking wasn't a problem, because I get to spend the night around these great people. So thank you so much to the Chazaq organization. Thank you so much to the Emet organization, Shapsi, Rabbi Merov, all of them. Thank you to Torah Anytime, obviously. As you said last night, the biggest yeshiva in the entire world that has ever even existed. The biggest yeshiva ever is Torah Anytime. Putting out these videos, these things for 24-hour access. The access that we have to Torah nowadays is mind-blowing. If you have, and I'm going to say this, okay, we're going to do a cut, I don't know, action, right? Torah Anytime, guys, action. We're going to start here. If you have a Netflix account and you do not have a Torah Anytime account, I don't care if you use either of them, but if you have a Netflix account and you do not have a Torah Anytime account, after 120, you're going to come up and they're going to say, seriously? Ours was free! Seriously? Are you kidding? We couldn't Jew this up more for you. Not only that, there's a bunch of rabbis on there that are equal to any show you're going to see on Netflix. Go, be entertained. Oh, I couldn't sit there for an hour. Okay, so do the half-hour ones. Half hour is so 5 minutes, a minute, 30 seconds. Just read the title. Nothing. You're going to do anything. You got this. Tonight, during our shiur, normally, we know that during a shiur, our phones are off. Tonight, our phones are on, and they're in our hands and next to us, though. Next speaker that gets up, totally turn your phones off. For this shiur, you have to have your phone on. It has to be on and next to you and ready to go. We're going to need it later on. Final thank yous to Natalia Chikov. None of you know who she is, but my little girl knows who she is. Okay. To recap, just a couple of things so that you know we're not jumping in the middle of nowhere over here. We had, the first thing we discussed was the idea of how we get into so much trouble, how we fall so deep, how we fall so far, is that we buy into fear so quickly. Now, this is not only a idea in the world in general, but in Western society. I just moved here from Israel, and in Western culture, we're very afraid. We're very scared people. Every time I take my kids to a park in America, people all want to call Child Protective Services on me. It's because I'm not like holding their heads with me. I'm like, okay, everyone walk slow. So, no steps. No. Not until your 11th birthday. Next week you could go up steps. This week, no. Right? They start palpitating when they see that my kids are running around the park by themselves. It's very, very scary for them. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But the point is that we let fear run our lives. It's not just that. We buy a car. We see a brand new car. We get a beautiful new car. Pull it into our driveway. So first thing we start to think to ourselves, oh, it's going to get hit by somebody. I mean, I live in Queens. My bumper is going to be gone, right? We start to something's going to happen. For sure, something's going to happen. We're wearing a new suit. Kid comes up to us with an ice cream, like, you're going to spill that on me. We live in fear. We know bad things are going to happen. We're positive. This is the worst possible way a human being can live. It takes us over. It controls us. So as we said, you can find in the Torah anytime, as we said, the way we counteract fear is with shalom, is with peace. Not just peace among each other, that for sure, but peace of ourselves. And we discussed how we work on peace, but peace is the only thing that we can use to fight fear. Fear is the basis of jealousy. Fear is the basis of anger. Fear is the basis of disputes in a marriage. Fear is the basis of everything that we do wrong, is that the Yetzer Hara loves to control our fear. So that was our first step. Our second step was the 6 hammer blows that we don't have time to go into right now. The 6 hammer blows are the 6 hammer blows of freedom. These are 6 criteria that you need before you change your life forever. You need to have these 6 steps. They're also, Baruch Hashem, they're also on Torah Anytime. Last night's was Don't Fight, Inspire. I was very tired when I wrote that title. I still don't know what it means, but it's the idea basically that in order to become great, we don't, or make ourselves known as great, we don't try to fight other people or debate other people. All we have to do is inspire other people. Through that inspiration, we create greatness. That was our concept yesterday. Today is one of the crux ones. This is one of the main ones. Today is discovering your inner power. Tonight is the one that really sums up a very large portion of what we've discussed till now and where we're going to go from here. Because from here, tomorrow night and the next night, those are the levels of really just changing our lives for forever. This tonight is going to be how to keep that change going, how to have lasting change. Okay. There's a extremely common concept among Jews. The Goyim even know about it. I've had Goyim tell this to me. It's called Jewish guilt. It's the idea of Jewish guilt. Probably, going around giving these classes, probably the most asked question I get afterwards is, I give a whole shiur on how, and you'll see how amazing we are and how incredible each and every one of us is, and it's true and it's amazing. The most common question I get afterwards is, but Rabbi, you don't understand, I'm not a good person. Like, what didn't you, the past hour I've been yelling at you about how that's not, you're like, no, but you don't know, I'm not, this Jewish guilt that we carry around, all these bad things that I do. I should do this, and I should do this, and I should do that, and I don't do it. I don't do any of those things, so I'm a bad person. This thing that we carry around with us, that we're positive about, by the way. Every single person in here, just about every person here is giving me the same exact look right now. Every single one of you. I know, you're so right. It's just that you don't know me, by the way. I'm the exception to this rule. I'm really bad. I'm really bad because I sleep in and they go through their whole list of why they're the worst. So Rabbi Berkowitz once said, my Rabbi Berkowitz, he once said that when we take on ourselves to do cheshbon hanefesh, right? Cheshbon hanefesh is writing down everything that we do in a day. Now, classically, cheshbon hanefesh is writing down everything that we have done wrong in a day. Every time that we messed up in a day. And it's taking it and working on it. Rabbi Berkowitz says, nobody nowadays needs any more help feeling like garbage. Everyone knows what they've done wrong. They represent through what they've done wrong. Everybody. Nowadays, Cheshbon HaNefesh is writing down what we've done right. What did you accomplish today? And I'll tell you, we don't just do this with ourselves. It comes from other people. You ever have a friend that's your friend for years and years and years and years, and then they mess up? The Mishnah in Avot says that when two people are having a dispute in court, you view both of them when they come to court. It's talking to the Dayan. The Mishnah in Avot is talking to Dayanim. It says when you come to court, you view both sides as if they're guilty. Both sides are viewed as they're guilty so that you can get to the truth. But when they leave from in front of you, if they were makabel the din that the Beit Din sent, when they leave from in front of you, you have to view as if both of them are innocent. But what are we doing here? Torah is emet. We're playing games? What kind of shtuyot is this? That when they come, view them as well. But when they leave, boop, just switch your brain off. They're innocent. Says the Maharal, an unbelievable idea. An unbelievable concept. It says, what does it mean, view them as guilty? View them as guilty is interrogate them as if you know they're guilty. You know they're guilty, interrogate them like that. Like you're looking for something specific. And what does it mean that when they leave from in front of you, view them as they're innocent? This is, guys, the Torah is the greatest thing ever. It's amazing. The Maharal says, what does it mean that when they leave from in front of you, view them as they're innocent? He says, don't think that just because of what you saw in that courtroom, that's who those people are. Let me explain this idea because it's so big. You have two people sitting in a court. You're about to see the worst of both of those people. I've had to be involved in a lot of things like that. And whether you're dealing with, I had to deal with the aftermath of a lot of divorces that happen like this, and a lot of money disputes that happen like this. When you're dealing with this, you will see the ugliest side of humanity. The ugliest side. Says the Mishnah, that's not them. They are in a very bad situation. That's not their true colors. We always say, oh, I guess they showed their true colors. No, that's not their true colors. That was an extremely high intensity situation that drove them, says the Maharal, and this is amazing, to a temporary insanity. You're going to judge them on a temporary insanity? That's like saying that an epileptic likes to dance because he has seizures. It makes no sense. You completely missed the point. That's not what it is. They were going through hell and therefore acted a certain way. That's understandable. You who says I'm going to judge them on those 8 minutes that they were standing in court and not on the rest of a life of virtue, that's crazy. That's bad. But we do it to ourselves all the time, and that's why we're so free to do it to other people. We do it to ourselves all the time. All the time. We'll have an amazing day. The Yetzer Hara is so keen on this. He loves it. And if you were to think logically about it for 5 minutes, he makes no sense. He's only playing on your emotions. Don't believe what you're seeing. Don't believe what you're seeing. Hakol b'cheskat suma, says the Gemara. Everyone is on a chazaka of being blind. We're all a bunch of blind people. Until Hashem opens up our eyes and lets us see things. Every one of us is a blind person. Now, if you ever close your eyes, you can walk through a completely empty room. You know it's empty. Close your eyes and walk through that room. You know what you're going to do? Oh, I gotta look, right? Well, you know the room's empty. What are you doing? Well, no, something's definitely going to be in front of me. And then what? You're going to stub your toe? Yeah, I'm going to stub my toe. It's the scariest thing ever. Now, I've done very bad things after stubbing my toe, so I can't really minimize stubbing a toe that much. I have children that like to leave very sharp Legos pointed up. Always. Now, after a while, you start to realize there's no way this is an accident. They are building little pyramids and leaving them in the middle of floors. There was no point to that thing other than me, the first time it was left on my slipper next to my bed is when I started realizing someone's out for me here. And I've said choice things when these things happen, so I can't minimize stubbing a toe. But I'm talking to myself more than anyone in here. All these things that I'm discussing are things that I'm working on, by the way. These are not things that I think I'm surpassed in any way at all. I only speak about the things that I stink at. It's why I'm so passionate about it. I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at this idiot. That's it. So, if anyone was looking away just now, I pointed at myself and I said this idiot. Oh, okay, fine. I want you to think I just randomly pointed at some guy in the crowd and was like, okay. You don't even know me. You're an idiot. Not you. Again. Okay. And cut. Repaste. All right, here we go. So, we feel bad about who we are. Cheshbon HaNefesh nowadays, as we said, is that. My daughter Eliana I didn't forget her name, she switched it. It's not, we didn't switch it. I did not misspeak. She decided that her name is Luna instead of Eliana. And it happens to be the person she's named after. My grandmother was a very holy person. Her name is Luna. We just, this is a great illustration actually of what we're talking about when we were talking about fear. Is that I was afraid to name my daughter Luna after one of the greatest women I've ever known that ever existed because I was afraid she would be made fun of. I was certain she was going to be made fun of. Now, do not use this, parents out there, and everyone, do not use this as a thing to name your kids whatever you want, right? I called up my Rebbe when I was debating it, and he told me not to name her that also. So it's not, he was like, I also had a grandmother. Her name was Chilka Milka. Do you want that name? And I said, that's not a real name. And then last week, this is a true story, last week I'm at a bank in Ohio in the middle of nowhere with my wife. It's the only place a rabbi could go to get a loan. No, it's a bank in the middle of nowhere with my wife. And it was a Chase bank because we rock like that. And and the lady behind the counter, believe it or not, a white, not Jewish lady, just her name was Milka. On her thing, I was blown away. I was like, you got named after my rabbi's grandmother. She said, no, I didn't. I said, you're probably right. I thought it was awesome. Anyway, so Luna, we were in Israel. We just moved to the States. When we were living in Israel, my kids were having dinner one night, and we have this thing, or my wife has this thing, any positive that my kids have came from her, despite my best efforts to try to mess them up. She somehow triumphs every single time, and they end up really cute and good. And they have this thing that anytime somebody says, I love something, right? Oh, I love French fries, or oh, they always say, no, you don't. You love mommy, you love papa, and you love, I can't remember all my kids' names. I'm saying, you love Yonatan, and I'm joking, guys, I love it. You love Yonatan and Yitzchak and Ashi, and that's it. The guy's name, I was going to go on for another 14 kids. It's just that. And you love Bobby and Zizi, whatever, and Hashem. What? So one time there was 2 seminary girls at my house that they were chesed girls, I think they're called. Not that we're a chesed case. Okay, it's difficult to explain, but they show up, they play with our kids, and they leave. I don't know. They were like children to us. They actually from this community over here, unbelievable girls, and I would name them, but I'm scared of them, and they know my kids' names and where I live, and they were sitting there with them. Oh wow! They were sitting there with them, and in the kitchen giving them dinner. And somebody said, "I love French fries." Someone said the magic phrase. I don't know who it was. Maybe one of my kids had a friend over or something. Maybe it was one of my kids. Maybe it was this guy. I have no idea. Could have been I just yelled it out from the living room. But somebody said, "I love French fries." And my son started, and he says, "No, you don't love French fries. You love Papa." And then the other son was like, "You love Yonatan." The other son was like, okay, I wasn't in there. Like, "You love Mommy, you love Yonatan, you love," and it got to my daughter. Now the seminary girls took a turn. And then it ended up on my daughter, and she was left with nothing to say. And everyone's quiet for a second, and she's not one to miss an opportunity or not have something to say. She's brilliant. She stops, she looks over and she says, "But the most important thing is to love yourself." And even she was blown away by the awesomeness of the line. She was like, "Just wait a second, did you hear that? Papa, I'm coming with you next time. I got this. And she was right. The most important thing is to start there, is to start saying, I love myself, not just because, not out of this like sweet thing, I love myself, come on! That's not what it's for. It's there to say I love myself because I appreciate what I am. I appreciate what I am. This isn't a single ladies moment. It's a real thing. It's I appreciate what I am. I appreciate where I'm coming from. I appreciate who I am. So now, there are 3, we call them 3, like there's a team working on this. I call them the 3 M's. These are the 3 M's to getting to know yourself. Because one thing I've learned after doing this, taking all the questions, is that, which by the way, we're interactive. Anyone who wants can yell out. You'll be messing up the whole share and on tour anytime. No, I'm joking. Anyone who wants could yell out and ask questions. But one thing I found from all the questions from these shiurim is that people keep asking me. Now, I met them 10 seconds before that. They keep asking me, but how do I know who I am? How do I know what I'm supposed to do? Now, this is still fear talking, by the way. But the answer is, I have no idea. I'm not you. Not only that, even if I was your BFF, I still wouldn't know the answer. Even if I was your mom, I wouldn't know the answer. I have no idea. That's what we call your journey. That's your journey. And it's amazing. It is the most livening thing you will ever have in your life, is finding out who you are. And the real trick here is realizing you're nobody until you make yourself something. You're a blank canvas. What you have on you right now, what we have on us right now, for the most part, is so much of what other people have thrown on us. But so little of that is actually who I am. So little of it is anything that I've worked on becoming. And that's what we need to break free of. So we use the 3 M's. Let's see if I get this right. The 3 M's is, even with it written down, I can't read my own handwriting. There's only 2 words I mess up, so I got it now, I think. I'm joking. Meditation, moments of motivation. Meditation, moments of motivation. The way this works is like this. The first thing we need to do to find out who we are, it's a 2-step process. We need to negate who we're not, and then we need to do the GPS model. The GPS model works like this. You can't put into a GPS where you don't want to go. You can't try to go to Queens, you're in Brooklyn, and say, I don't want to go to Muncie. It won't work. I've tried. It won't work. The GPS will be like, I don't know what to do with that. So now you chose one location you don't want to go to. Now there's everything else in the world. Saying what I'm not is not helpful. So we need to get rid of that aspect of us. We're going to come back to this idea. We need to get rid of that aspect of us of defining who we are through what we're not. And if you've ever been asked, right? Singles go through this all the time. They're asked, well, what type of person are you? Well, I'm not this, and I'm not this, and I'm not. Why don't you come out for a cup of coffee with me? This will be so much easier if you could just see me talk to another person. You'll get to know who I am. I agree with them. It's a silly question. What type of person are you? And if I don't fit into a type that you've heard of before, I'm type. That's the type that I belong to. Have you never heard of it? It's a different dialect. It's my own. They're like, well, I don't think I know anyone. Like, okay, well, great. So we never have to talk again. So we're perfect. We're good to go, right? It's getting rid of the concept of who we're not. Getting rid of that concept and deciding to marry and communicate and attach ourselves to the idea of who we actually are, because that's so much more important. The way to do this is, and this is going to be scary, I know, but it's super important. Without this step, you're always going to be questioning yourself. Number one is the meditation aspect of it. Meditation doesn't mean sitting cross-legged on a beach somewhere, chanting incantations. By definition, it might mean that, actually, I don't know. But in this context, it doesn't mean that. In this context, meditation means what meditation really is, which is a hyper-focus. But what that means is that we put on our blinders. We have nothing to distract us. It's an unbelievable thing that people say all the time. There are more men, I think, than women here, but people say all the time, I can't wait to get 5 minutes alone. Just 5 minutes to myself. If I could just spend 5 minutes to myself, it'd be amazing. Finally, he gets the 5 minutes to himself, takes out his phone, turns on YouTube, and goes. Yeah. That's not yourself, by the way. You're not spending 5 minutes by yourself. No, you're not. You're literally doing the opposite. You're spending 5 minutes completely distracting yourself from who you are. You didn't want 5 minutes alone. You wanted 5 minutes to stop thinking. You wanted 5 minutes to stop having to talk to people, which is fine. And the truth is, you probably did want the 5 minutes alone, but you messed it up. 5 minutes alone is just that. The first level here is the meditation. You get rid of your distractions. Now this is for X. I don't know how often you need to do this. Everyone is different. Once a day, but whatever number pops into your head, usually that's the right one. It could be once a day. It could be once a week. It can't be more than once a week. It can't be more spread out, more sporadic than once a week. Once a week is the bare minimum. Where you sit and you leave your phone in a different room. Now I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, because it always happens the same. You leave your phone in a different room. No one's allowed to bother you then. If you have a house phone, you live in the Stone Age. No, if you have a house phone, unplug it. Yeah. If you have a house phone, unplug it. I know. This guy's out of his mind. If you have children, get rid of them. Let them play in traffic. No, don't do it when they're around. I don't know. Make sure you're alone and you will not be disturbed by anybody. And just sit there. Just sit there. And wait. Because it's going to come. It's going to happen. For most people, it starts in the hand. They start to itch a little bit. It's usually their phone hand. They say, this is stupid. This is so stupid. I don't need it. Nothing's happening. Something's happening. You're freaking out. That's something. What this is detoxing from the fact that we've been trying to distract ourselves for God knows how many years. Now the Yetzer Hara is going to creep in over here and try to kill us. Like I said before, the Yetzer Hara never really makes any logical sense. He shows up on Yom Kippur and he says, really? You feel so bad? You feel so bad for all the averot that you did? Really? What about last night? You're crying over here now, saying that, well, what about the thoughts you had yesterday? You think God's stupid? You think he doesn't know that you were thinking bad things yesterday? You think he doesn't know that you were jealous 10 minutes ago? You think he doesn't know these things? He knows. So who are you lying to? This is what he convinces us of on Yom Kippur. Now let's think about it logically for a second. Yom Kippur is a day for atonement. We can call it a day set aside for sinners. Now when a day is set aside for sinners, the bigger the sinner, the more this day is for him. And your logic to me, Yitzhara, is that I'm too big of a sinner for the day for sinners. It makes no sense. The logic would dictate that I belong here and no one else in this room, maybe. But it makes no sense. But this is the logic that the Yitzhara uses. If I'm a liar and I'm trying to trick God, I'm the worst type of sinner ever. I need today more than anyone else here. He'll come in this moment of meditation, and he's going to try to rob you of it. He's going to tell you, stupid, this, that. We fight him through. Meditation, moments. We start small. We take a few moments, and this is going to apply to everything else we're going to say. This is going to apply to everything else we're going to say also. The idea and the power of a moment, guys. It is probably the most important thing I'm going to say tonight. The power of a moment. The power of doing things by the moment. For the moment is one of the most impactful things you will do your entire life. To be able to learn one Mishnah a day will change your life. We don't do it because we say, but it's just a couple of minutes. It's not really. Come on, give me the real stuff. Tell me how to really change. There's no such thing. Living for tomorrow never really matters. It's what's happening right now. Right now, you're doing your moment. You showed up tonight. I assumed walked here because I took the last parking spot in Queens. I think. I might have gotten towed at this point. I have no idea. But I assume you walked through the heat to get here. And you're doing your moment right now. Don't let him take that from you. He's going to. He's in your head right now trying to take it. No, I only showed up because my friend, and I felt bad because this one made... No, you're here. You did it. You're still doing it. Stop it. Stop it. You're not right. I promise you, you're not right. Take it out of your head. You're here because you fought to be here, to become a better person. How are you not so happy about yourself right now, proud of yourself? Let that moment, sit in that moment for 1 second. I am proud of myself. We're not going to start chanting in here. It's not that type of meeting. That's later tonight for me. My name, that's not what we're here for. We're not here to feel bad. We're here to build ourselves. If every time we try to build ourselves, we show up with a wrecking ball, it's not going to work. Well, you told me to bring tools. This is a tool. Yeah. It's not going to work. Building ourselves starts by acknowledging that we're amazing. Because we are. You've done wrong things. Join the club of everyone ever in existence. Everyone has messed up. It's why we are who we are. Hashem wants you to have messed up. Because if you don't mess up, then you'll never feel great about doing well. It's the way we operate. So, meditation, moments, and then the last part is the motivation. So like this. We take our meditation time. We start off with a few minutes and we try building. It's just a few minutes of us alone. Our minds will wander a little bit, bring it back. And demand of what Milton Erickson and many other psychologists, prominent psychologists have called, demand of your subconscious a motivational moment. My email address is on Torah Anytime. I really hope you guys reach out and tell me what this did to you. Because of any student I've ever had that I told them to do this, every single one of them has ended up in tears way too often. I only have taught guys way too often, and have said, I've never felt so free. And I'm telling you guys, anytime I do this, it's amazing. You sit by yourself with no other distraction in the world because you don't need it, because you're amazing. You sit, you do the meditation for a few minutes, and you demand of your subconscious motivation. It will start telling you, you are amazing. By the way, you really are. You really, really are. And that's how we start to build. Now, the Mishnah Avot says, Lo lecha melacha ligmar. It's not on you to finish the work. Aval lo ata ben chorin le'abatal mimenu. But it is not your right to walk away. You have to start. You have to do something. If you don't want to do the meditation moments of motivation, nailed it, then that's fine. But do something. Do something. Start something that is going to inspire you. We're in a very special time right now. The 3 weeks that we have right now are here for one thing and one thing only: to completely flip around how we relate to other people through ourselves. What does that mean? For every person who has never thought that you can inspire another person, I invite you to go give your mom a hug. Go give your mom a hug. If you don't have a mom, go give someone else's mom a hug. Preferably someone you know, because I don't want anyone getting arrested and blaming me here. And go give your kids a random hug. That's when you see it. That's when you really start to see it. Show up to your kid's school 10 minutes early and take them out. And tell me that the look on that face, you didn't make a difference in anyone's life. Call a younger brother and see how he's doing. And in general, reach out to people. Over these next 3 weeks, the best way to do this is by working on ourselves. Creating in ourselves this ability, because there is an unbelievable byproduct to the ideas that we're giving over. The unbelievable byproduct on the ideas that we're giving over is that you are going to not be able to control yourself anymore. You are going to love people. Jealousy is going to be a thing you just don't have time for anymore. The Ramchal says in Mesilat Yesharim, the difference between a Naki and a Zariz. Zrizut is one parak, the next parak is Nikiyut. In Zrizut he describes what it is that a person fights against his Yetzer. He fights. In Nikiyut, the Ramchal brings down the next level of that. The next level of that is somebody who is proud of his fight. Is somebody who has risen up to a level that he no longer feels that way anymore. He no longer feels the pull to do that thing anymore. He feels foreign from it. The reason he feels foreign from it is because he is above it. But says the Ramchal, he now has a new feeling. And that feeling is to go around getting other people to feel amazing like that. And that's how he knows he reached Nikiyut. This is an unbelievable idea. The Mishnah Avot says, Ezu Gibor, who's a strong person? I one time was sitting with a group of guys. Sorry, we have to cut like a couple of things, so I don't know if this story is good enough. It is. So, probably it's not, but listen, there's no other story. No, so, the Mishnah, I was one time sitting with a group of guys, and I asked them, we were learning Pirkei Avot, and we came to this Mishnah, Ezu Gibor, who's a strong person? These are 18-year-old boys. Not the brightest bulbs. I don't mean these guys, I mean all 18-year-old boys. No, these guys specifically. No, That's why I was their teacher. It was a group of us that was, and I asked them, what is a gibor? What is a strong person? And I got these three guys who looked like they just walked out of the Jersey Shore, sitting in front of me, and one of them was like, big guy. I'm like, okay, thank you. Clearly your mother never told you not to use the definition, the same word in the definition, right? I know, you didn't do anything. What does that mean? And he goes, big guy, big arms, big guy. I was like, you could have just pointed at me. I would have understood. No, yeah, okay, fine. Next guy. I was like, okay, so we found the shallow guy. Let's move along. Next guy. Who's what is a big person to you? He's like, a guy who's got a lot of money. I'm like, well, sorry, we found the shallow guy. You can take a break. Third guy. What's a big guy? This is a true story. These are 18-year-old kids who have went through our systems. These were their answers. The third guy, I said, what's a big guy? He says, anyone over 6'3". I said to him again, you could have just pointed at me. No, I was like, what? And they're like, well, what do you want us to say? A rabbi? I'm like, no, anything. I want you to say anything. Literally anything else other than what you said. I could ask you, what's a big person? You could have said tomato. And I would have been like, okay, that's better. That's better than the insanity you were spewing beforehand. At least now I know that there's just something that doesn't click upstairs. The other way, it makes it sound like you are very confident in your answer. No. Ezu Gibor, says the Mishnah, HaKovesh et Yitzro, the one who beats himself. The one who conquers himself. The one who, now I'm going to add a caveat to this because the people in the times of the Mishnah were amazing. We're not that big. Or I'm not that big. So I'm going to add a little, I think I'm saying the word wrong, a caveat to this, which is, it's not a person who conquers his Yetzer. It's a person who knows he's fighting his Yetzer. It's not a person who conquers himself. It's a person who realizes he's fighting himself. It's a person who realizes it's no one else. I'm not battling anybody. I'm battling me only. My own self is the only one I need to impress and beat. So how do we fight ourselves? The only way to fight ourselves is to have a conversation, to at least debate ourselves about things. When was the last time we were able to really reach inside and talk to ourselves? Inner power only comes from inner searching. The second we look anywhere else in the world, we don't find it. Inner power only comes when we look inside of ourselves. That's it. It is impossible to find your motivation, to find your inner strength, to find your greatness outside of yourself. It is impossible. Everything you have right now in your life is set up perfectly for you to become great. Everything you have in your life is set up perfectly by the orchestrator of the entire cosmos for you to become great. He set it up. It's all there. You literally don't need one more dollar. You do not need a car. You do not need a friend. You do not need a wife. You do not need a husband. No, you do not. You need what you have, and that's it. And the only way you're going to get more than that is when you make do with what you have. Says the Gemara Menachot. We're going to end with this. Says the Gemara Menachot. A wealthy person, a person who has wealth, you know about them. Now, how we understand this Gemara is a little bit difficult, but it's a certain point. It doesn't mean that every wealthy person is like this. But a person who has wealth, you can be rest assured that at some point, he made do with what he had. He used what he had. Now, the wealth that the Gemara is talking about is a wealth that actually makes a person happy, that he's using properly. This is a self-made man we're talking about here, or self-made woman. This is a self-made person I apologize. I'm still Israeli. Proper pronouns is a foreign thing to me. So, it's a self-made person. What does that mean? That means at some point they didn't have this. How did they get it? By making do with what they did have. By using what they did have. We believe in the Rabbanu Shalom. We believe that He created us, and we believe He created us awesome. He created us exactly the way we're supposed to be. Not one iota better or worse than we're supposed to be. The greatest personal trainer ever. He knows the exact amount of weight to put on there. On the exact day, at the exact time. He knows exactly what we need. We can't define ourselves by what we don't have. We can't define ourselves by who we're not. We have to look inside. Nothing in the outside is going to do it for us. We have to look inside. Hashem is doing His responsibility. The final thought over here is that responsibility. When we feel that we're in a fight with somebody, we feel we're in a strife with another person, our wife, our husband, our brother, sister, whatever it is. Think to yourself, what's my responsibility here? Not theirs. That's out of my responsibility. What's my responsibility? My responsibility is to be loving and compassionate and talk to that person. Now, I want them to behave back to me a certain way, but that's not my responsibility. If they don't, it makes no difference on how I act. That's my responsibility. We take our responsibility to ourselves seriously, and we take our responsibility to other people even more serious. So the way I behave to people, the way I talk to people, is the way I know I should talk, regardless of how they treat me. When we start doing things like that, we start building up this inner person. We start giving them a name. We start giving them an identity. My inner self is someone who does good. We start giving them that identity. Through that identity, we start becoming amazing. The reason I told everyone to take out their phones and hold it next to them was this. We're on an initiative right now to try to get 200 people, no, I'm not asking for money, don't worry about it, 200 people to sign up to Torah Anytime's Daily Dose. What we're going to do is, I'm going to give you guys a number. It's 200 people we're trying to get. I think we're literally, last night I know we were really, really close, and I think we're pushing over this limit right now. So, I'm going to give you guys a number. Take out your phones. It's the last speaker that's ever going to tell you to do it. You might as well enjoy it. Let's go. Take out your phones. Let's see it. Kumbaya, my Lord. There we go. Okay. I'm going to give you the number. You WhatsApp this number, the words add me, ADD, and me. I just came up with that joke now. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. Now, you text them, add me, and you, and they're gonna start sending you clips. Every clip you get, you watch. You could forward it, whatever you want. I don't care. But after you understand the point of that clip, they're very short clips. After you understand the point of that clip, every day you either call the same person or a different person, and you just tell them over that idea. Have a human moment with another person where you're doing something positive for them for no reason. You call them and you tell them what you heard. You tell them what you heard for no reason. Don't choose the right person. When they start talking, when it's that clip about overbearing parents, leaving their children a little bit more room, well, it happens to be I decided to call mom today, and no, don't have a purpose to it. Just call another person to inspire them. The number is +1 929 355 4268. That's +1 929 355 4268. B'ezrat Hashem, through this initiative, through these ideas, through these things, we're going to be able to find this inner power, and we're going to blow it up. Thank you very much for coming, guys.